Hi friends, let me introduce you to a healthy and happy boy, Tim. See, Tim has everything going well in his life. He's 7 years old, with a loving family and a passion for soccer. But 10 years is all it takes to change everything. Tim stops going out for soccer and hides in his room all day, every day. No, Tim didn't contract cancer. No, Tim didn't drop out of school. And no, Tim didn't fall into depression. The truth is, Tim just has acne. And as with all other self-conscious teenagers these days, Tim has confidence issues and is afraid of meeting people who might judge him. But today, I promised that Tim's life would change. Think this is tragic? Well, Tim isn't the only one that goes through this transformation. In fact, in Singapore, acne is consistently among the top 10 conditions for which patients seek treatment. In fact, it is the second most common skin disease after eczema. Of the 806 people with acne who were examined by a dermatologist, 51% had mild acne, 40% with moderate acne, and 9% had severe acne. Tim, well, let's just say Tim is an unlucky boy. Never had luck with percentages. Acne typically escalates when one reaches puberty. This can start from as early as 10 years and continue to develop until one is in his mid-20s. One surprising fact about acne is that the average Singaporean female is more likely to develop acne than the average Singaporean male. But even though Tim is a boy, he's an unlucky boy. So what are some causes of acne? Acne, also known as acne vulgaris, is primarily thought to be caused by genetic factors. In about 80% of acne cases, dermatologists have deduced that genetics play the largest factor. So most likely Tim's father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, great-grandfather, great-grandmother also had acne. During puberty, an increase in the secretion of sex hormones from the pituitary gland in the brain, known as androgens, causes skin follicles to grow larger and secrete oily sebum. These hormones include testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, and dihydroepiandrotestosterone. Calm your hormones, team. The pores on our skin has a gland which produces an oily substance called sebum that is used to lubricate our hair and skin. When oil and dead skin cells clog the pores, the gland still produces sebum, which is trapped in the pores. This causes the pores to enlarge and leads to an excessive growth of the bacterium Propionibacterium acnes. These bacteria trigger infection and local inflammation, which leads to severe acne. So, of course, being in dirty, hot, or greasy areas can exacerbate acne. But Tim is not a very bright boy. He stands by the exhaust of buses for no reason. He sits in the middle of a school field at noon. And heck Tim, why are you even in a kitchen? You don't even know how to cook. See, Tim, this is probably your own fault. Stop blaming your ancestors. So what happens in our immune system during local inflammation of the skin? Many components of our immune system work together and complement one another to create an effective inflammatory response. Firstly, during local inflammatory response, mast cells, which are a type of white blood cells, release histamines. Histamines causes dilation of the blood vessels and increase the permeability of capillaries, allowing more blood to rush to the infected site and provide help. Other types of white blood cells, such as monocytes, play important roles in engulfing bacteria at the infection site. Macrophages releases large amount of cytokines, which are substances that will make the capillary walls sticky, so that neutrophils can easily attach to the capillary walls and diffuse out of the infection site to combat the infection. Macrophages also releases chemotaxins, which attracts more phagocytes from the blood vessels to the infection site. All these will give the appearance of a pus-filled pimple. Hold it, Tim. I know you're going to complain and ask, why does this cause swelling, redness, heat, and pain? Well, as more blood rushes to the infection site due to vasodilation, it will cause redness and heat on the inflamed area. The inflamed site swells. As the chemotaxins attract phagocytes to the area, this causes pressure on pain receptors that translates into pain. But don't worry, Tim. All these swelling, redness, pain, and heat are good for you. But it still makes you ugly. The symptoms of acne are very obvious. Acne, as we all know, is characterized by blackheads or whiteheads, pimples, oily skin, and possible scarring of some areas of the face. Typically, the face, upper part of the chest, and back are more affected by acne, as these are the parts of our body that have a higher number of oil glands. Of course, there are ways to combat or reduce the severity of acne. Acne can usually be contained if one washes their face regularly and maintain a high standard of self-cleanliness, staying away from greasy areas. However, that's not the only way. For severe cases of acne, doctors may decide to prescribe acne cream, antibiotics, or NSAIDs, which stands for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. For females, another type of drug treatment is the anti-androgen drug, which reduces androgen hormones that increases the size and activity of sebaceous glands that secrete sebum on the skin. To help everyone remember, we have created 3 simple steps that you must follow daily. 1. Take care of your face by washing it twice a day. 2. Insist on staying away from greasy areas. And 3. Medication for severe cases. However, there are also some limitations to drug treatment. For example, 22% of Propionibacterium bacteria has grown resistant to antibiotics as of 2010. Side effects of acidic acne cream that contains salicylic acid or azelaic acid also include skin irritation, dryness, and discoloration of the skin. If one seeks treatment regularly and follow the aforementioned steps, even acne caused by genetic factors can be kept under control during puberty. However, in rare extreme cases, isotretinoin, a type of medication, can be used. It has been proven effective but can cause some serious side effects such as depression or increased risk of suicide, so it is seldom prescribed. Though for Tim, it might seem like it is his only hope now. See, your acne is finally cleared now, Tim. But I did say there will be some side effects. Time to move on to the treatments of depression.